This is Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I realize people retire and they get bored and they're like, I need another job. And a lot of elderly people become school bus drivers. But maybe there needs to be some sort of we've all dealt with our grandparents that are over 70s, cranky test. This 75-year-old bus driver in Pennsylvania, his name's Harvey, Mr. Sliker. He's facing charges after police say he threatened the children on the bus because they wouldn't sit in their seats by cranking up the heat. Parents say their children got off the bus crying and extremely sweaty. The bus driver demanded that the kids close all the windows, and then he turned the heater on full blast. Apparently, it was already 74 degrees outside, but inside the bus, it was like 95 to 100 degrees. He allegedly told the kids, quote, "I'm going to cook you all." Also threatened to bring a paddle the next day. Investigators say the students were between the ages of 5 and 12. That's pretty young.
I have a friend that he was always sourced with driving the morning shift after weekends away, usually Vancouver, between the ages of 19 and 21. And then after 21, Lake Tahoe, from Lake Tahoe to Seattle, because he had the big vehicle, the big van. And so everybody would party up until the moment that they stepped into the big van and then pass out when they got into the big van. And he would get mad because nobody would offer to take part of the shift. And Tahoe to Seattle is a long haul.
I'd say screw you guys.
So he would do this to us all the time. He would turn up the heat and you would just wake up drenched in sweat and you'd be like, what the hell's going on? And then he would, the satisfaction that he would get when somebody would complain in his eyes, he was like, I mean, it was something that was, I mean, he'd be like, yeah, maybe you should offer to help drive. I'm fine
What's
up here.
wrong with you, man?
Good.
What is your problem?
He would be like, literally, like it'd be the middle of New Year's. So it would be like January 1st or 2nd. And he would be in t-shirt and shorts. And he would bring the t-shirt and shorts only because he knew this was going to be a problem.
You guys had screwed him over before. And he's like, they're not getting away with it again.
Yes. He's like, I better bring a t-shirt and shorts for when I crank up the heat on these jackasses because they all pass out and I have to drive them home responsibly.
Is his name Harvey?
No.
Is he
his
75?
name's not Harvey. But he always said that he would like to have a job as a school bus driver because you get summers off.
Yeah, you're not thinking about the worst part of being a school bus driver, and that is having patience with a bunch of young kids. Harvey was charged with simple assault, reckless endangerment. He won't be driving for the school district either. He was let go. It's unclear. He never said what set him off, but
it's effective punishment, really, when you think about it.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
When was the last year that you rode a bus to school?
Oh boy, I was grade school. It was probably sometime in maybe 6th grade is the last time I rode a bus.
7th grade I had to. Or no, I'm sorry, 8th grade I had to because they had to remodel our middle school.
Right. I mean, I did ride a bus home though from like the activity bus in junior high and high school. But got picked up by the bus was grade school.
So I'm just saying ride a bus. So you're talking about what, 8th grade?
No, all the way into high school, I think. Before I started driving,
activity bus.
Yeah, the activity bus was for like when you got done with your sports activities.
Sports.
So football, wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
I would take the bus home. It would drop.
I lived walking distance to my middle school, which was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Because I was like, when I was done with 6th grade, I was like, don't have to ride. And actually, technically, I would walk to elementary school quite often. And if I was running late, I'd get the bus. I would leave a little bit early and walk to school with friends. Up to elementary school. So I didn't ride the bus all that much. But that 8th grade year, they sent us like all the way on the other side of town. I mean, nobody was walking to school where the the temporary school was, and it was the entire 8th grade year. So we got to miss out on all the cool advancements at the middle school that they were doing, and then we just got spit out into high school. But I remember it was chaos. 8th graders on a bus is complete chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Complete chaos. And I remember just like our bus driver, she would get so mad. She would get so angry. And, I think she should have employed the I'm turning up the heat rule.
We were terrified of our activity bus drivers because, junior high, just obnoxious. We weren't all that bad, but there was definitely fear. And they never did anything like this. But, the bus driver would just pull the bus over and says, all right, we'll wait right here, and I'll call and have each one of your parents come pick you up. And I knew if my dad got a phone call like that, it was not going to end well for me. So I shut my mouth. That was enough. Because we used to be scared of our parents, like scared of the law, which was
Absolutely.
our parents, and nowadays, everybody's so soft on their kids. Not everybody.
Our regular bus driver was a nice lady. She was a nice lady. She was a patient lady. And she, there was a give and take, but it was one of those days when a lot of kids that typically weren't on the bus were riding somebody else's bus home, and because somebody was going to have like a party at the lake or something like that. So the bus was overfilled with people. The typical what's going on, and it was like a Friday, so everybody was unruly. I remember my friend Tyler was coming over to my house because he was going to stay at my house while we had the lake party that afternoon, and I think he was going to hang out for the weekend too. And I'll never forget, she never did this ever, but she felt like she was at her wit's end, and she pulled the bus over and stopped the bus. And she turns around and she gets up, and the bus is silent because the people that are normally on the bus are like, whoa, I've never seen the bus driver stop the bus and try to restore order. And she turns around, and my friend Tyler, who he must have had some level of Tourette's or Asperger's at this moment, because it was a general statement. And she turns around, she stands up, she gets ready to start yelling, and he goes, and it's totally silent on the bus because we're like, okay, what are we in for, And he looks at me, he goes, whoa, your bus driver's got big boobs. And she turned red in the face and looked around and said, please be quiet, and sat back down, and everybody went back to being chaotic. And I was like, whoa, Tyler, you just totally neutralized the threat. That is amazing what you did.
It was a comment that made her uncomfortable.
I didn't.
So
he goes, I didn't mean to. I didn't expect that. She just got up, and I made the comment.
Oh, my God.
We're asking you this morning, how would your school bus driver?
I never had big boobs as my bus driver. I was always old fat guy that barely, looked like he was about to swallow the seat.
I feel as if, though, she was kind of complimented by that. I mean, like,
kids are checking me out. Maybe I'll just, all right, go ahead.
It was Friday night. She was going to go blow off some steam a different way. How would your school bus driver punish your bus to maintain order in that bus? Let us know over on our Facebook page.